Hold up. What if the Thor 650 bobber you keep seeing is real, but it's hiding in plain sight under a totally different name? Because right now, the internet is packed with new Thor 650 hype. But the actual truth is way more interesting than the clicky thumbnails. So, is a new Thor 650 cubic centimeters bobber coming? Yeah, there are legit signs a 650-ish bobber is in the pipeline, but it has not been officially launched or properly announced yet. The strongest trail points back to Gaokin, a Chinese manufacturer whose bikes can be exported and rebadged under different brand umbrellas in different markets. What we actually know so far, here's the clean version, no fluff. There's online evidence of a GK650 bobber existing as a named model in the wild, not a full official launch, but it's out there as a referenced bike. Gaokin is widely documented as a manufacturer whose products get exported and rebadged through distribution groups, including links with KSR Group and the Brixton Motorcycles ecosystem in certain contexts. But there's no official press release or complete spec sheet announcement from a major global OEM confirming a Thor 650 bobber with final specs, price, and launch date. So if you're looking for the one link that proves everything, it doesn't exist yet, because this is still in that pre-launch gray zone where prototypes, internal model names, and export paperwork chatter show up before proper marketing and dealer inventory. What the Thor/Gaokin GK650 bobber might be, based on how this segment works. Now let's talk about what it's likely aiming for, because the direction is pretty predictable if you understand the 650 cruiser/bobber lane. Expected positioning, real-world logic, not fantasy specs. If this bike lands as a true middleweight bobber, it's probably aiming for engine, around 650 cubic centimeters, most likely a parallel twin layout, because that's the common sweet spot engine choice for this class. Good torque, easy packaging, not overly complex. Style, classic bobber energy, low seat, stripped fenders, chunky stance, retro modern lighting, minimal bodywork. Target rider, people who want more presence than a 500, but still want a bike that's approachable for daily cruising and weekend rides. Competitor lane, bikes in the same middleweight retro cruiser conversation, especially Royal Enfield 650 series options and similar modern classic twins that bring torque and style without superbike drama. And here's the big reason this segment is so hot worldwide. 650-ish twins are the easiest big bike to own. They feel grown up, they cruise comfortably, they look premium in photos, and they don't punish you with heavy weight or insane running costs like big 1,000 to 1,800 cubic centimeters cruisers. Why this model feels confusing online? This is where a ton of viewers get played by the algorithm. You'll see titles like New Thor 650, bobber confirmed, Thor GK 650 official, launch date revealed. But most of those clips are news roundup videos, not manufacturer announcements. And a lot of them mix in unrelated concept renders, custom builds from other bikes, recycled footage of other models, spec guesses that get repeated until they sound official. So yeah, the internet makes it feel like it's already launched. But that's mostly because the content cycle moves faster than the bike industry. Who is Thor in this story? This matters because Thor can mean totally different things depending on where you are. 1. Thor Motorcycles Limited, UK, a dealership, not an OEM. There's a UK business called Thor Motorcycles Limited that sells and services bikes But it's not a global manufacturer producing its own 650 bobber platform. It's a retailer/workshop operation. So when someone says Thor 650 bobber and points at UK stuff, that can easily be dealership confusion. 2. Thor, as a market label around Chinese OEM exports. Chinese manufacturers can build a platform, and then that platform gets exported under different names depending on the importer and region. That's not rare. It's basically normal in this space. And Gaoken is specifically a name that comes up in discussions of manufacturing relationships and export rebadging, including links mentioned around Brixton in various coverage and manufacturer references. So when you see Thor 650 bobber, it may be pointing to a Gaoken-developed bike that could land under a Thor label somewhere, but not as a single unified worldwide launch. Here's the wild part. The first place a new bike often shows up isn't a showroom. It's in random listings, export references, and model code leaks. And by the time the brand goes official, the internet has already made 200 fake spec sheets. That's exactly why this situation feels messy. The breadcrumbs show up early, but the official story shows up late. When could it launch? Right now, there's no confirmed release date from any official global manufacturer channel. So anything like drops next month is basically just content bait. That said, when a bike name/model appears online as a reference product before formal rollout, it usually suggests one of these is happening. Development/testing is underway, certification or market planning is in motion. Importers are exploring regional placement branding/trim strategy isn't finalized yet. So, a 2025 to 2026 window is a realistic guess for when something like this could surface more officially. But it's still a guess, not a confirmed date. What you can compare it to right now, so you're not stuck waiting, even if the Thor 650 bobber isn't officially confirmed yet, the 650 Retro Cruiser/bobber space is already stacked with bikes that tell you exactly what the Thor/GK 650 would be trying to compete against. Examples people cross-shop in this vibe: Royal Enfield 650 Class Twins and Modern Classics, the value king in many markets. Brixton Motorcycles, mid-size Modern Classics, brand identity plus factory partnerships depending on market, custom-inspired builds based on legacy platforms like the Yamaha XS era culture. A lot of bobber look content borrows from this aesthetic. Modern classics from brands like Triumph Motorcycles and Honda if your priority is long-term dealer support and resale confidence. The reason this comparison matters: if you know what's already winning in the segment, you can predict what a new entrant must deliver and what price it must hit to matter. The real takeaway, what to believe, what to ignore: believe this. There are signs that a 650-ish bobber project connected to Gaoken naming/GK650 references exists online. Rebadging and multi-market naming is common, and Gaoken is documented as a manufacturer involved in exports and brand pipelines. Don't believe this yet. Official launch date confirmed. Full specs revealed. Price announced. Dealer stock incoming next week. Because right now, the public info is still breadcrumbs, not a clean manufacturer announcement. Yeah, a Thor 650 bobber might be coming, but it's not officially out, and most of what you're seeing online is early chatter, mixed with speculation. The safest way to describe it is, there's smoke. There's some evidence of a bike name/model reference, but the fire, official launch, plus specs, plus pricing, plus photos, hasn't dropped yet. If you want, I can turn this into a YouTube script that keeps viewers locked in. with a mystery-style opening, a leak versus facts breakdown, and a final reveal-style ending that makes people comment like crazy. Would you buy this over a RE650? Just tell me, do you want it in a breaking news vibe or a deep dive detective vibe?